Talking about caring. Caring? Huh? Big up New York Times. Get ready for a kinder, gentler Balenciaga. This news happened a few days ago, actually, a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure some of you guys are aware of it already. That Pierpaolo Piccioli, who used to be the creative director of Valentino and got ousted from there and is now the new creative director of Balenciaga, as soon as Demna finishes, which is I think is in June. I think his last collection for Balenciaga will be in June, the couture collection, and then Pierpaolo Piccioli will take over, or Piccioli. Has it Piccioli? No, Pierpaolo Piccioli, not Piccioli. Pierpaolo Piccioli or Piccioli is taking over, I guess, from June onwards. When I first heard the news, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super familiar with his work at Valentino, but when I did kind of keep attention or keep an eye on it, I do remember the women's being a lot stronger than the men's. I remember the men's being kind of bland and kind of reminded me a little bit of COS. It was kind of COS inspired, or like kind of COS coded clothing, not inspired, because I think COS are mostly inspired by stuff I see on the runway, but it was kind of COS coded type of wear, which I wasn't really too fond of. And for somebody that's been really keen on the vision of Balenciaga that Demna has been presenting, his kind of, you know, design sensibilities, the proportions, the tendency to kind of do a lot of streetwear stuff, this is going to be a complete deviation. It's definitely going to be a lot cleaner. I think for the fashion people, the ones who are really obsessed with the legacy of fucking Balenciaga and wanting to make sure that the stuff that's been done in the past is kind of honored on the runway, and it goes back to traditional tailoring, it goes back to pattern making, it goes back to cuts, it goes back to this, and not all the bells and whistles, and do away with hoodies and stuff. I think people are going to be happy. I'm pretty sure for this first collection, Pierpaolo is going to want to set a precedent and want to make sure he kind of has a big breakaway from the vision of Demna at Balenciaga, because that's been very strong and kind of tied uniquely. It's been it's almost like Balenciaga has absorbed Demna's kind of sensibilities and aesthetic, and it's now become part of what they are. You can't really remember what Balenciaga looked like before Demna was there. So I think he's going to want to make sure that he can break that and set the precedent forward. So it wouldn't surprise me if he goes for that first collection and it's completely not streetwear influence at all. There's no streetwear at all. There's no hoodies. There's no trainers. Even though during his time at Valentino, I'm not just sure if he was the person in charge of creating that particular sneaker that everyone likes to wear. It's like a camo running sneaker that a lot of people like wearing, especially like office dudes or finance dudes. I'm not too sure if he's even in part of that design process, but I can't really think of a lot of Valentino items from his time there that I look back fondly on. Again, the women's collection is pretty decent, but men's is not that great. It's all kind of simple, plain and boring. Maybe it's what they kind of want, who knows? But, you know, firing someone like a Demna to hire someone like a Pierpaolo, you're not even firing, maybe trying to, you know, move Demna to Gucci, what maybe struggles, and you want to help that brand out more. Is interesting because you're rolling. It's a big risk, because I don't know if this Pierpaolo has the chops to really fill those shoes of Demna, or to really kind of operate at that level. Because you sometimes have to think about it. Like, if you're Pierpaolo and you got let go from Valentino, what right do you really have to be designing for Balenciaga? Really, you know? But hey, let's see what he's able to do. This courtesy of the New York Times, it kind of speaks a little bit on it. Courtesy of Vanessa Friedman, it said Balenciaga is one of the most storied and controversial houses in the fashion, has a new designer. On Monday, Kering, the group that owns the brand, announced that Pierpaolo Piccioli, the longtime head of Valentino who parted ways with the brand in 2024, had been named creative director in charge of women's wear, menswear, accessories, and couture. He replaces Demna, the monominic, or 2015. Wow, it's been a long time, innit? It's been a fucking long time. 2015. Shit. Transforming it into a lightning rod for both trends and social issues, who announced earlier this year that he was leaving to join Gucci, which is also owned by Kering. The news puts Balenciaga's, which struggled to regain its sizzle in the head. It had the early years of Demna tenure after almost being cancelled after allegations related to what some saw as probably misconceived ad campaign, into the hands of an experienced, beloved industry figure. Of course, Vanessa Friedman is already fucking glazing Pierpaolo, because she probably got fed up. No, she said it before. She said it before in her writing how fed up what she was with fucking streetwear, and she wanted to return to tailoring, which I've always said is a dog whistle for not wanting any niggas. I think that's a dog whistle. Someone as old and as legendary, kind of in her own way as Vanessa Friedman is, she's probably fed up of seeing the likes of Bloody Osiris and all of his contingent galloping around Paris in their big fucking Balenciaga stomper army boots with their massive jeans and their big rips and shit, smoking weed, looking all fly, playing their fucking hip hop music from their speakers and shit. She's fed up. She wants some more. She wants some demure, sensible, laid back, chill influences around. And Pierpaolo is probably going to bring that. He's probably going to bring all of those boring cunts out. So that's why she's probably happy. It's going to be a return to tailoring and definitely a more whitewashed version of Balenciaga. It's definitely not going to be as interesting, dynamic, controversial, whatever. It's just going to be fucking boring as fuck, in my personal opinion, because Pierpaolo's stuff at Valentino wasn't that great. And at a moment when Kering is struggling after dismal 2024 results with top percent fall in revenue and creative changes free of its brands, Bottega, Gucci, and Balenciaga, it signals a potential shift in approach. Mr. Piccioli, after all, is one of fashion's greatest romantics, while Demna is one of the great disruptors. His vision is more utopian than dystopian. Mr. Piccioli is known for his couture rather than for his elevated streetwear, a detail that in Francesca Bellettini, Kering's deputy chief executive, cited as particularly important. That he's known for his couture rather than okay, cool. So they wanted him for couture. Maybe they weren't happy that Demna was basically making like couture hoodies. Yeah, maybe they want actual couture pieces. Like, hey, we've got these couture clients. I know Demna can't do that sort of shit, but these couture clients, they need to be serviced. They need to be, you know, they need to feel made special. They need to have gowns, dresses and shit, suiting, whatever. We can't be selling them like, you know, bedazzled hoodies that are hand stitched, handmade by some sort of craftswoman in the studio. So they're technically, you know, fucking, you know, couture, but still, let's be real. Kering's deputy chief executive cited as particularly important Balenciaga's news release about the appointment, and perhaps just as significantly, Mr. Piccioli is ambitious to change the very image of the industry. Again, I don't know if he's that guy. He's talking really big news or big tough shit. I don't know if he's that fucking guy, because the stuff I've seen, like that dress there, kind of boring, man. That red dress there, kind of fucking boring. It says, we're in a new moment of fashion, Mr. Piccioli said in the call. Before there were founders, then there was a phase of creative director. This is the third phase, a human phase. Huh? What are you talking about, bro? Well, there was a phase of creative director. No, there were founders, then there was a creative director phase, and now we're the first. No, we're still in the creative director phase. That's why you've been hired. That's why there's been this fucking creative director fucking merry-go-round of people moving from places and being swapped around and shit. Creative directors are still very, very important in terms of putting out a certain image, you know, dictating a certain image, advising on a certain image, laying a blueprint for a certain image, taking certain directions. What are you talking about? A human phase, huh? It's a phase that will see more change in creative direction than has ever occurred in fashion, with over 15 houses switching designers this year alone. Wow, 15! Mr. Piccioli said his mission was to create a new template for how that can happen. So it's so much a game of musical chairs as a passing of the torch. Just make good clothes, man. Just make interesting clothes and people will be cool with it. You don't have to try and say that you having a job is you trying to change the industry, creating new templates. Like what? Somebody got fired or somebody got moved to another company. Demna went to Gucci because Gucci needed more help. Cool. And maybe some fucking couture clients were starting to complain that they weren't getting the bespoke, you know, experience from her. Cool, that's well and fine because of how much money they pay. They can complain as much as they want. But let's not make it out as if it's more than just that, you know? Come on. Mr. Piccioli, 57, called the decision to join Balenciaga a natural one and said that he plans to not just wipe the slate clean, as many designers have done. He wants to honor those who came before him. In a news announcement, he included a letter thanking every designer. Cristobal Balenciaga, the founder, of course. Nicolas Ghesquière, who put Balenciaga back on the fashion map. By the way, that's one you don't really remember. You know, that's what I said. Like, I think Demna's done such a good job, or he's been so ubiquitous to us that I swear to God, you don't remember who the next designer was. You don't remember. You don't remember if it was, you know, whoever it was. It's fucking crazy. The founder, Nicolas Ghesquière, who put Balenciaga on the map. Alexander Wang, who mentioned, oh yeah, I didn't know. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Alexander Wang briefly had a tenure at Balenciaga before Demna took over, didn't it? Yeah, it did. It went fucking Nicolas Ghesquière, Alexander Wang, and then fucking Demna, and now what's his name? Piccioli. Jesus. I don't want to deny in the past, Mr. Piccioli said, but to embrace the past to build a new future. I don't want to cancel what was Bane because a house is made by lots of people. This is a chance to change the rules from the inside. Give a different image of fashion and designers, of creative directors because we respect each other. What are you trying to say? You're trying to say that Demna's like a bad boy. I'm not going to be doing no pedo shit. I'm not going to be out here with fucking Marina Abramovich doing some mad shit. I'm not going to be doing no diddling shit. I'm not going to be... I mean, that's... It almost seems like he's firing... Mental sounds like he's firing shots at Demna. Like, I'm going to show you how nice, how much good vibes can exist in fashion. It doesn't all have to be fucking helter-skelter, kiss goodbye. I mean, it can always be easy. It doesn't need to be fucking sad all the time. Maybe that reflects on clothing. Maybe we'll get much brighter, you know, fucking swatches and shit. Who knows? Let's see. He and Demna have met and spoken multiple times, he said. He has attended Demna's Balenciaga couture shows. There are no immediate plans to redo the stores or get rid of the old inventory and replace it with his designs. Mr. Piccioli, oh, of course not. Why would they do that? If it's still selling well, why would you replace the stuff in the store just because you want to usher in a new phase? Surely you sell out what's already left and then you start the new phase. But what do I know? Mr. Piccioli will be relocating to Paris from outside Rome, where he's currently living, and he and Demna will overlap for a month in Balenciaga before Demna officially leaves in July. Okay, he leaves in July. Right, he's got a nice break before everything gets chopped up and moved away. Cool. Mr. Piccioli will be relocating where he currently lives for a month in Balenciaga before Demna officially leaves in July after his final couture show. So Demna's leaving in July. Cool, makes sense. Despite their apparent differences in style, they share a certain approach for fashion, Mr. Piccioli said. And here's a picture of him walking down the Valentino couture show in 2022. Again, nothing here just looks amazing. This is couture. It's meant to be the highest level of expression. And this is pretty pants, you know? Pretty fucking pants, what I can see there in the background people are wearing. Where are the designers, not as curators? We are designers, not as curators, he said. In order to interpret a house, you have to get to the spirit of the house, not just to go back to the archives. I feel like he's sending fucking... These are sneak disses, I swear. I feel these are sneak disses. I swear these are sneak disses. We're not called to witness our times. Our job is to give our vision to beauty and relate in those house times. Mamma mia. While Mr. Piccioli was not very overtly political as in shows, as his Demna, he took on the climate fucking change, capitalism, the war in Ukraine has been underfed groupies and pain. It continues. His appreciation for couture stems from a desire to focus on exclusivity, but because of it represents uniqueness and care, the touch of human hand in an age of AI. It's why he brought all of the seamstress and tailors from the atelier out of the runway to take a bow every show. Though he said he didn't believe in destiny, he did not take that this first Instagram post in 2018 was a picture of Cristobal Balenciaga's famous 1967 work on a wedding dresses from the Met's Costume Institute exhibition, Heavenly Bodies, Fashion, and the Catholic Imagination. I love that. Big up that guy. The dress has always been one of my favorite impressions of that in terms of volume, shapes, and innovation, he said. So I uploaded that picture of the quote from Brancusi that I really love: simplicity is complexity resolved. So yeah, it sounds like he's sending shots. It sounds like he's doing everything he can to separate himself from Demna and try to be his own man and basically let it be known that it's going to be a completely different vibe, aura, feel, whatever, based on what we've seen so far in cards and shit. So let's see what gone. But big up fucking Pierpaolo. Hopefully he succeeds. Personally, I'm not looking forward to it. I don't really think he will. I think a lot of Balenciaga fans who are, you know, obviously in love with Demna's version of it are going to be upset. Not going to get any more hoodies. Upset. Not going to get any more skirts. You know, the club's obviously still going to run, but I think a lot of that resident t-shirt thing is going to stop for the time being. It seems like it. But again, what do I know? Absolutely nothing.